Hey Jim, what's going on this afternoon? Got in a bunch of knives. Want to get it taken care of today. I got more people dropping shears off, but I wanted to get these knives done. Greg, today I'm using 120, 200, 600, 1200, and then a felt belt just to remove the burr. I change it up. I mean, I'm terribly inconsistent on my progression. It's whatever I feel like it, and also what the customer likes. This lady's knives, I know how she likes her knives. Those are nice knives, if you take care of them. She abuses her knife. She keeps putting it in the dishwasher. And they always tell me they don't, but I can tell if it's been put in the dishwasher. A little ding on the tip. Yep, and they do it, oh. I did that one at 16 degrees because she beats the hell out of it. if somebody would use their sharpening steel, you could get 12 and get it to last. Yeah, she likes her knives a little toothy. If you get them too polished, they won't cut a tomato. No, I don't have a tomato to test. These are not paper cutting knives. These are food cutting knives. Appreciate it, Bernard. Not on this one. This is the AMK 75. Now the new AMK 76, I believe you can run a 2-inch belt. This is an older model. be right, Jim. I'm not sure exactly what the new one will do. But I know you can run some different size belts on it. Well, Preacher Man, I appreciate the sentiment. I just don't have time to test every knife, and there's no reason to. You know, if the knife is sharp, you know it's sharp. She's going to go home and she's going to take one of these knives and cut something on a plate or things like that, so it won't be sharp as when it leaves here anyway. So I do a couple of hundred knives a week on top of everything else. I did about 10 pairs of salon shears today. I did a dozen clipper blades. Yep, and the dishwasher ruins them. So, you know, I've never had anybody ever complain about a knife that I've sharpened in 10 years of having my business. And I've probably sharpened these knives every year for the past 5 years. This lady's been a really good client of mine. So about once a year she brings me her knives. She'll bring them again. Usually she brings them close to Thanksgiving. So I might get them twice a year. I charge by the inch, so an 8-inch chef knife is $8. This is a 4-inch, I guess this is a 4 or 5-inch paring knife. Let's see what this is. So I would consider this a 4-inch paring knife. I charge $4 for this. Did I test the edge angle? Now, I will say, I don't test knives, but I do test when I sharpen salon and barber and pet grooming shears. I test those. I actually have human hair for the salon and barber shears. Yeah, you know, it's cheap, you know. Jamaica was good, man. It was fantastic. We had a great time. The only problem was I've just been backed up since Saturday. We got home Friday night, and I have been swamped. So it'll take me a week to get caught up for this week, or the week, excuse me, for the week of vacation. Well, luckily we paid ahead of time. We've been planning that trip for 3 years. My daughter's been engaged for almost 3 years. They purposely waited Well, I mean, that thing is just dull as can be. She beats the hell out of these knives. But to your point, Sharpening paid for that trip and that wedding. It's good to have repeat customers. And I've been in business long enough that I had the same people over and over. I still get a lot of new people, but the business has grown dramatically in the last few years. I've been doing it 5 years now, full time. I quit a 14-year or 29-year career to do this full time. And I'm having more fun now than I've ever had. Great job, Greg, man. Keep doing it. It's fun. Yeah, you're exactly right. I have had people say that. Man, they're too sharp. That's what I did. I started off as a side business. I was a financial advisor for 29 years. And so for about 5 years, I just kind of did this on the weekends. Well, the machine is faster and gives you a more consistent edge angle. Now, once again, that's my opinion. But you couldn't do, it's just too hard to do whetstones when you have a bunch of knives, So here I've got about 20 knives that I've got to do. Plus other stuff that's coming in this evening. Well, I'm telling you, man, it won't take you long if you just keep building your business. I was so glad to leave financial services. I couldn't take it anymore. Actually, I had planned on going back. I quit the job I was at because they made some changes that I couldn't live with, and I had actually planned to go back to work. I had 2 years to keep my licenses, and in 2022, I guess, is when they expired. March of 2022, I let them expire, so I didn't have any choice but get the business together. That's 6 knives for one customer, and here's about 10 knives for another. This is another lady who just beats them to death, and this is just a cheap hinkle. This is one of the Chinese hinkles. This is not the good one. Well, if you're in financial services, I'm sure you know how stressful it is, especially when business is bad. I went through the late 90s stock market crash, early stock market crash in the 90s, and went through the 2001 crash. I had just had enough. And I don't miss it at all. Well, everybody's got their opinion on that. I think if you stick with the big brands like Wusthof, you stick with Hinkle. I like Victorinox. They're cheap, they're reasonably priced, and they hold a good edge. They're stamped steel. I like their handles. I think the shuns are overrated for most people. They're too brittle. I mean, you could ask 10 people and get 10 different opinions. They are very brittle. And that's what I don't like about them. When they're sharp, they cut really well. Exactly, a sharp knife, that's what you want. You want a good sharp knife. You know, we got a business to sharpen knives, and so it's a good thing. Once somebody learns you can sharpen their knives and you only charge them a few dollars a piece, they'll keep coming back to you because they like those sharp knives. It's wonderful. And what I like to do is, y'all don't see this off camera, I just take a little piece of leather and run it along that edge to try to pick up some of that burr. Old hickory, I love old hickory knives, man. Especially the old ones with the old carbon steel blades. Man, those are great knives. Jim is exactly right. It's got to feel comfortable to you. And that's why I like the Victorinox with the Fibrox handles. I can grip those very well. Sorry, you guys are talking so fast I can't see it. The Sabatier knives are good, the Green River. Like I said, the old hickory that are just wonderful knives. You know, people don't like them because they look kind of ugly and the handles get nasty looking if you're not careful. But some of those old ones sharpen up really well and hold an edge for a very long time. And I clean all these knives with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, before I give them back to the client. And then I give them all a sleeve for each one of them, you know. All right, so you can see how this knife, how dirty it is just coming into me. There you go, man. A cleaver works well, you know. Lower the edge angle on a cleaver. Comfortable to, I gotta clean this real quick. My wife and I use the same two knives all the time. We have probably 40 different knives, but we always use the same two, three, that's about it. This was ragged, man. It's all chipped up. And see that handle is kind of worn, like it's not as black. That's been put in the dishwasher, and I can tell it's been put in the dishwasher because it's got almost a, if we looked under my microscope, it would look like a serrated edge along there, because the chlorine bleach in most of those soaps eats the edge. No, they're not serrations. That's poor management of your knives. Putting them in the dishwasher, putting them, banging against other knives, like Preacher Man said. Throw them in a drawer with other knives. They knock together and they'll ding the blade. I give every person gets this list. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I have a care tips for kitchen knives, and I've got 6 points on there. Use the best cutting board, store your knives correctly, hand wash, keep the knives dry, use your sharpening steel and have them sharpened every 6 to 9 months. This goes with every person's knives back to them. But nobody listens. But that's why I have a business. I probably wouldn't make as much money if they did those things. Y'all be sure to subscribe to Home Spark Knife Sharpening there. He just commented a couple times. That's Jim. He's in Aurora, Illinois. He's a buddy of mine, fellow sharpener. He and I talk all the time about the business, trade ideas. He's got a YouTube channel too he's trying to build. So check him out. We all try to support each other. And y'all be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And it's hard to come up with interesting content on these sharpening channels. But I enjoy interacting with people on the live streams. I enjoy this. It's getting ready to storm here, looks like. Again. I appreciate it, Preacher Man. This is a digital angle guide, so I can find the exact angle. comes in very handy, especially for this machine. It gives me a more consistent edge angle. No, I do have a leather belt. I'm not using a leather belt today on these particular knives. This is a felt belt, and I don't use any kind of compound or anything like that on there. I like the fibers to stand up. If you notice, I'll take this little stainless brush and I'll rub the fibers. I want to kick those fibers up so it takes the burr off of the blade. It's hard to see, but there'll be little flakes of steel, I don't know if you can see that or not, on there. And so I'll take a little piece of leather like that and just kind of gently pour it across the blade and then just finish it up. And it's hard to see on the camera, but all those little flakes of metal are coming off. Creation Z, what kind of machine is this? This is what's called an AMK 75. It's from amktactical.com. It really is a polished belt. I mean, you're supposed to use some kind of liquid abrasive on it, but I just don't do it. I just want it to kick off the burr, and it does polish the blade up still. It makes it really good. I leave most kitchen knives toothy unless the customer specifically says they want a polished edge. And so, and I keep notes on, if you've done business with me before, I save your telephone number on my iPhone, and I keep notes of how you want your blade. And so I know that this family, they want them kind of toothy. They like them toothy. They want it to bite into a tomato very easily. You know, some guys want them polished. I have a few people who want, hey, I want a polished edge on it. I want it like glass, and then I'll use the leather at that point. Daniel, what size what? What are you asking size-wise? I don't know, what is this one? Looks like it is a 8-inch slicer. Hinkle slicer. Amazon. The rod is not going to sharpen your knife. It's just going to basically keep the edge straight. It's for honing the knife, keeping the edge straight. But if the knife is already dull, it's not gonna do anything for you. And this is probably one of the this is probably like a Target one. This is not the high quality Hinkle knives. This is, it doesn't have a full bolster on it, full tang. Well, there's lots of different ones out there. You could, I don't particularly like the drag through Chef's Choice or something like that it's called. They just ruin your knives. You're better off once a year or so going and having somebody put a fresh edge on your knife, and then you can use your hone, your sharpening hone at home to keep it sharp. Lots of different ways to sharpen knives. Sharpen frequently, hone frequently. You should be using it you should be using your honing steel on your chef knife every time. Now I have one out here on the shop bench. There you go. There's a nice hone. On my counter in my kitchen, I have one of these next to my chef knife and my paring knife. Yeah, this is much faster because I'm in the business of doing this. You know, most home cooks, you're not going to spend $850 to $1,000 on a machine. Just find a local sharpener. That's my advice. Support small businesses. Now these are steak knives. He's got 5 steak knives here. And I leave these extra toothy. Steak knives wear out really fast because you're cutting your meat on a ceramic china plate, and that just dulls the knife super fast. Correct. You send me the knives, let me sharpen them, put a fresh edge on them, learn how to use your hone, and they'll stay sharp longer. That's part of my little piece of paper that I give every customer on how to maintain your kitchen knives. Oh, I'm going to stop there. That's what I was going to do. I was going to stop at 600 on the steak knives. You want it grippy, especially when you're cutting steak. Well, I appreciate everybody watching out there, and I appreciate all the thumbs up. It does help our little business down here in Texas grow. I had a Jim. I had a girl today, a dog groomer, brought in her curved grooming shears, and they would not cut tissue paper at all. Usually they'll cut, but it'll cut rough. These would not cut tissue paper, and I was like, oh my God, these are horrible. She bought some kind of a little device online to try to sharpen her grooming shears. Luckily, they weren't a very expensive pair of shears, but they were she just destroyed those shears. And so it took me a good while to get them all back to where they should be. She was happy that she didn't have to go buy a new pair of shears. Every once in a while, I'll have somebody call me and say, hey, I need my salon shears sharpened. And I you know, it's a female, and then the husband shows up. And they're in such bad shape. He tried to sharpen them like a knife and destroyed them and really pissed off the wife, and I have to fix them. And some of them are in pretty bad shape. Sewing scissors are the worst. Those are the ones that people think they can sharpen well and make them cut well, and they destroy them, and I have to fix them. We have a hardware store in Houston that say they can sharpen sewing scissors, and they destroy them. And people have found out online that I can fix them, so they drive all the way from Houston down here to see me for me to fix their sewing scissors. No, these are probably Chinese made. These are not the high quality German ones. These are not full tang Hinkles. I don't think so. I think these are the Chinese ones. Well, I can't tell if it says German steel or not. Anyway, they may be, but I always worry when they don't have a full tang. You know, the good Hinkle and the good Wusthof knives have full tang handles on them. These do not. There are some they're Hinkles. I mean, there's probably some knockoffs. They are Hinkles, but Hinkle has different levels of knives. I mean, just you can search on Amazon and see the different prices. You know, the ones they sell at Sam's and Costco, those are not the good ones. And you can feel the difference also. How heavy they are. This is a very lightweight knife. Yeah, there's considerable difference in those knives. Didn't used to be, but now there is. Do your homework for sure. Here's the other set. That's a full tang, and it actually says made in Germany on this blade. This is truly a German high quality Hinkle knife from the other person. This is a very good one. Full tang, you know, metal all the way down the blade to the handle. That is a great knife right there. It just feels great. Whereas here's the other one that's fairly close. This thing is so light. This is not the same kind of knife. It's not the same manufacturer. Yep, all the time. Always seems like if it's got a broken tip, it's always a shun. People drop those shun knives and break the tips all the time. All right, this is the last steak knife, and then I got a hunting knife to do. And he does want it polished. I don't charge anything extra. Some guys do, I don't. I keep mine very simple. $1 an inch. I've never raised, the only thing I've ever raised prices on is clipper blades. I used to charge only $6 a piece for clipper blades. And everybody else went to 10, so I went to 8. So here's one, it's dirty, I know that. I don't know what he's got all over it, mud or something. I should put it in my ultrasonic cleaner, but I'm not. Maybe I'll do it after I sharpen it. See, Mondays I do a lot of barbers. I had a barber come over this morning, brought clippers and 4 pairs of shears, and I sharpened them because he's closed on Mondays, obviously. He's an old school barber, but he had some high quality Japanese shears. He had some really nice shears, old ones, probably from the 70s or 80s or something like that. I don't know. That cleaned it up a little bit, and I'll clean it up better later. He said I sharpened this knife before. I don't remember, but it's still pretty sharp. That's right, Sundays and Mondays off. So I'll have guys on Saturday night when they close their shop, they'll drop off their tools here and then come pick them up on Monday afternoon. I also charge less for the shears when they bring them to me. I charge $35 if I have to go to a shop because I have to carry my equipment. I charge $35 with a minimum of 3 to be sharpened, and I'll only go a certain geographic distance from the house. If they bring them to me, I only charge $20 per pair to sharpen with no minimum. All right, so I don't know the edge angle on this knife. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to find it. I take my Sharpie and I black out the bevel. Preacher man, you got to do your business right. And one of the things too on this knife is it's got an odd shaped blade, and I got to keep it straight in my jig. I could probably freehand this one, but I'm not. I'm suspecting that it's around 18 degrees. And that's right there, is 18 degrees. And y'all see that moved? It's 18 degrees. So that's why I put the Sharpie on there to see what that bevel edge is. So this is going to be fun. Let's see if we can get it. See, the Sharpie's gone, and I've got a burr already on the other side. All right, I'm going to do one more pass on each side. It's just experience of looking at knives and knowing the edge angle. I got a little something right there I don't like. And I've got almost no downward pressure on this belt whatsoever. And that's the good thing about having the jig to hold it, because I'm not pushing into that belt and pushing into the flatten. And this is a quality blade. There's not much burr coming off of it. And now we're going to polish it. So somebody was wondering about polishing belt. This is my polishing belt, my strop. I like to use a little compound. sharp. I got it polished. I'm going to clean it up and I'll show you the edge. Let me spray it with some alcohol here. So, you see that nice edge in there? It's a polished edge. I can't see that, but it is shaving the hair off of my, you see the hair on there? I have such fine hair. But it is shaving hair, sharp. So that's the last knife of this batch. I think I cleaned it up pretty good. I don't know what he was using on it. It looked like mud or something. But anyway, there we go. That's the last knife of this batch. I'm going to call it quits. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Check out my website. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow Home Spark Knife Sharpening right there. Check out Jim's YouTube channel and his Facebook page. He's another sharpener. He's up in the Midwest, up in Aurora, Illinois. I'm in Texas. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all have a great evening. And maybe we'll do something else tomorrow. I'm going to shut it down for the night. I'm done. I got more to sharpen, but I'm done. Y'all have a good one. Take care.